Welcome to the Safety and Risk Success podcast with me, Christian Harris. In this episode, I want to unpack a simple idea that explains something I see all the time. Organizations working harder than ever on safety, yet getting the same results. More training, more campaigns, more messaging, and still the incidents keep happening. This isn't about blame, motivation, or people not caring enough. It's about a fundamental misunderstanding of how safety actually works, and a small shift in thinking that can unlock disproportionate results. If you've ever wondered why your safety performance has plateaued despite all the effort you're pouring in, this episode will give you a different lens to look through. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, hit subscribe and do share this episode with someone else that you know in safety.
Welcome to the Safety and Risk Success podcast with Christian Harris. We believe that proactive safety and risk management powers business performance. Each week we explore this theme, sharing guests, stories, insights, trends, hints and tips. You can find us on all the major podcasting platforms, and video versions are available on YouTube. For now, let's join the conversation with Christian.
This simple formula explains why your safety performance isn't improving. You know that feeling when you're doing everything right, but still not seeing results? A client said something to me recently that really stuck. We've done the training, we've updated the policies, we've put the signs up. Why are we still having the same incidents? And I get it. It's frustrating. Because when you're doing more than ever, why isn't it working? It's a bit like trying to lose weight while living next door to a donut shop. You can have all the motivation in the world, you can read every fitness book, download every app, but if you have to walk past fresh glazed donuts every single day, your willpower is really fighting an uphill battle. Or think about it like gardening. You can have the most beautiful seeds, the best intentions, even water them religiously. But if you plot them into concrete, well, nothing grows. Here's the thing. Effort isn't the problem here. It's focus. Most safety teams put all their efforts into culture. You've got awareness campaigns, behavioural safety initiatives, posters telling people to be careful, maybe even rewards for doing the right thing. But here's the reality. Culture without environment is like asking people to swim upstream. You can't out-train a slippery floor. You can't out-communicate poor lighting. You can't engage your way around poor design, contamination, or lack of maintenance. It's like trying to teach someone to drive safely in a car with faulty brakes. All the defensive driving courses in the world won't fix the fundamental problem. So there's a simple formula I use that explains this. Environment times culture equals safety. And if either one is zero, so is the result. Here's the problem though. Most organizations get this formula wrong. They think about it in the wrong way. They think it's culture plus environment equals safety. Addition. They believe if they have good culture and good environment, they'll get good safety. But honestly, that's not how it works. It's environment times culture equals safety. It's multiplication. And here's why this distinction matters so much. In addition, if one factor is weak, the other can compensate. You might have a score of 3 plus 7 equals 10. Not perfect, but decent. But in multiplication, if either factor is 0, your result is 0. 3 times 7 equals 21. Excellent. But 0 times 10 equals 0, and that's disaster. This is why all those cultural initiatives aren't working for you. You're pouring energy into getting your culture score from 7 to 8 or 9. Meanwhile, your environment is sitting at 2. So you go from 2 times 7 equals 14 to 2 times 9 equals 18. Some improvement, sure, but you're still nowhere near where you need to be. But flip it around. Take that same culture score of 7 and fix your environment from 2 to 8. Suddenly, you've gone from 14 to 56. It's a 4 times improvement from changing the environment alone. Let's take the clients I mentioned. They'd invested heavily into behavioural programs, they encouraged reporting, responsibility awareness, all good stuff, but the incidents kept coming. Not because people weren't trying, but because the environment was shaping their behaviour every single day. Environment dictates performance. Think of it like this. You wouldn't expect someone to eat a healthy at a fast food convention. The environment is constantly nudging them towards choices that contradict their goals. So until we look properly at things like surface materials and their condition, contamination types, levels and patterns, cleaning schedules and their timing, layout, flow and natural pathways, how people actually used that space in reality, nothing really shifted. But once we addressed those environmental factors, once we made that building physically safer, everything clicked into place. The conversations evolved, behaviours followed naturally, near misses dropped, and then the actual incidents dropped as well. Not overnight, not magically, but measurably and sustainably. Here's what that shows us. Culture doesn't lead the change, it follows it. If your environment is making it hard to be safe, people are left trying to compensate. That's not a system. That's exhaustion waiting to happen. It's like asking somebody to stay organised in a room with no storage. They might manage it for a while through sheer determination, but eventually the environment is going to win. But when the environment supports the behaviours you want, people don't have to try to be safe. They're not working against the grain every day. Safe choices become the easy, natural ones. Your culture finally has something solid to build on. So it's not about adding more effort, it's about creating better alignment. Because again, environment times culture equals safety. That's the lever most organizations haven't yet pulled. Let me share a perfect example of this multiplication effect from my book. I was called to assess a pharmacy that was having recurring problems at their entrance, a sloped area where they'd already invested in culture, staff training, awareness, campaigns, and the kind of be careful messaging. They'd even installed an anti-slip mat and hazard tape, or so they thought. Despite all those efforts, they had 4 separate slips recorded on CCTV in just one winter day. Their culture score was probably 7 or 8 out of 10, but their environment score, close to 0. 7 times 0 equals 0. No matter how good their culture, the result was still dangerous. Here's what was actually happening. People would step from the wet pavement onto what they thought was a safe anti-slip mat, but the mat itself had become saturated and slippery. When wet shoes met this supposedly safe surface, it created the perfect conditions for a fall on the slope. The head office response: we've got anti-slip flooring, no further action needed. But when we actually tested the slip resistance using proper scientific measurement, we discovered this so-called anti-slip mat had a slip risk of 1 in 2 when wet. So we fixed the environment, proper slip-resistant surfaces, correctly maintained. The result, a slip risk of 1 in 1 million, maintained over time. So now the maths was totally different. We had 7 times 8 equals 56. Same culture, transformed environment, revolutionary results. So if your safety performance isn't improving, despite all your cultural activity, don't just ask, what are people doing wrong? Ask instead, what is the environment quietly encouraging? Because here's the mathematical reality most organizations miss. It's not culture plus environment equals safety. It's environment times culture equals safety. Addition means you can compensate for weaknesses. Multiplication means any weaknesses kill your results. You can't outmotivate a broken system. You can't train your way around poor design. You can't add culture to overcome environmental failure. But when you multiply a good culture by a well-designed environment, that's when you get exponential safety results. So fix the environment first. Make the safe choice the easy choice. Then watch how quickly your culture multiplies that improvement. Environment times culture equals safety. Stop adding, start multiplying. Because the best safety culture is one that doesn't have to fight the environment every single day.
Thanks for joining us on the Safety and Risk Success podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please hit follow and do share on social media. Does anyone you know spring to mind as a great guest, even yourself? If so, please contact us on podcast@slipsafety.co.uk. See you next week for another episode.